Hello everyone, my name's Megan. Welcome to my channel. This channel is all about me taking books I've read and comparing them to their on-screen adaptation. Typically that means movie, but also some have been changed into TV shows. So before I get started on that, I just wanted to say I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We didn't really do much for Thanksgiving. It was my dad's birthday, so we just kind of celebrated that more so than Thanksgiving. But we had a good time, as always. And then I saw Frozen 2 yesterday, which was awesome. So if you want to tell me what you did for Thanksgiving, or if you want to talk about Frozen 2, I've been dying to talk about it with anybody. Just leave me a comment. Okay, so on this episode or YouTube video, I am talking about The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So I got this book from the library a while ago, not with this cover. It has a different cover as well. And then after the movie came out, someone got me this as a gift. So I have literally not even opened it. I love how books look when they're new. But just to let you know, I did read it. I just got it from the library. That one's new. And then, so of course, immediately after watching the movie, I was so pumped. I actually saw this movie. I got it from Redbox at the same time I got 5 Feet Apart, and so I typed up notes while I was watching them both. So I'm really excited to do this video. It was a while ago that I watched the movie, read the book, and typed up all these notes, so hopefully I can make sense of what I'm saying here. But I've been ready to make this video for at least a month now. So to start off, in the beginning, I was pretty bummed when they cut out the scene where Daniel, sorry, I don't know why I butchered that poor boy's name. Daniel caught Natasha's ex, Rob, stealing from the record store. It was their first meeting before he, casually saved her life. No big deal. But I just thought it was a good moment of the book. I liked it. I thought it was funny how they busted Rob. His name's Rob, and he was robbing. Well, not robbing. I guess that's like taking money. He was trying to steal from this record store. And that was their first actual encounter, whereas in the movie, he just kind of saw her in the train station, followed her for a little bit. That sounds creepy, but I didn't think it was creepy in the movie. And then she almost got hit by a car, and he yanked her aside and saved her, and that was their first interaction. So, whereas in the book, he caught her ex from stealing, and then he saved her after that. I guess that's a little bit of a better meet cute, saving her life, whatever. So side note, 2 small details, I'm super nitpicky. That's why I hate when books I like are made into movies, because I'm always so nitpicky. The movie could be great, and I'd still be like, what? So those 2 small details, her headphones were supposed to be hot pink, and his tie was supposed to be red, although that did lend into that whole plaid tie, or did you call me pad tie? That's racist or whatever. That joke, which was funny. I like that. But when I'm watching these movies, I'm like, how hard is it to find pink headphones? Hot pink. They were like light pink, I think, in the movie. I was like, it's supposed to be hot pink. That's not hot pink. It's not hard to find. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be hard to find. I feel like I could Google it right now and find them on Amazon for $10, but so Charlie, Daniel's older brother, in the book he was kicked out of Harvard, and it was not mentioned once in the movie, not once. And it would have been really easy to slip in there just like a sentence about how just because you're not in Harvard anymore, blah blah blah, or something. But it was just like some weird tension that you didn't really understand. You just thought his brother was kind of rude, and you didn't really know why. And you didn't really know the dynamic between the 2 brothers or the family in general. And I feel like him being kicked out of Harvard was a real, shape of his characteristics. That's why it's a good reason for why he's acting. Not a good reason, whatever. It helped shape who he is. So I feel like that was needed. And he was also a little bit nicer in the movie. He told Natasha, he's like, when she asked for Daniel's phone number, I remember, in the movie, he's like, he gave her the number and he said, okay, now don't break his heart. He was being a good person. I'm going to get these 2 together, blah, blah, blah. But in the book, he just wanted to cause drama. He's like, ooh, I know my parents don't like this chick. Yeah, here's her number. Here's his number. Here you go. get them off my back for a little bit, get them on his again. So he was way more rude in the book than in the movie. And I feel like movie Natasha was way over for was way easier for Daniel to win over than Natasha in the book. Sure, in the movie she like rolled her eyes a couple of times. She's like, "Oh, Daniel, you're ridiculous." But she didn't seem as truly cynical as book Natasha. She was all about science in the book and the reasoning, but in the movie she's just like, love's not really my thing. And in the book she's like, "No way, it's not real, it's science." And she was just way easier to convince by him. She was like, "I'm listening. You've got a good point," within like 5 minutes. I was like, what? It's supposed to take way more convincing for her. And in the book, the deportation is caused after Natasha's father winds up with a DUI. And the movie, it's because there was a random ICE raid at his work. And they outed him as an undocumented immigrant. So I have mixed feelings about this. So they said that they changed it because they didn't want to portray any type of race as like lazy drunks or anything like that. But if you're changing it just so you don't portray the race that way, isn't that kind of also racist? Because every race gets DUIs. Like, I don't think you should change it just because their race. Like, if it was a white guy with a DUI, they would have left it in. So, I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings about that. But then again, the ICE raids are kind of current and what's happening now. So, I wish they just said that was the reason they changed it, honestly. And then I'd be like, okay. But anyways, so speaking of Samuel, Natasha's father, they also erased his whole entire backstory and everything that added more depth to his character and Natasha's character. Movie watchers don't know that he dreamt of being an actor or that he moved to America before the rest of his family. And then as a result, the movie watchers also missed out on Natasha's confrontation with her dad. So the whole thing is that he can't get an acting job and he's been trying to act and like no one will hire him because he's got such a thick accent. And I feel like it just helped round the characters where he wasn't really a character in the movie. He just wasn't. And I feel like that's something we see a lot in books that are turned into movies, and it's, I don't know, it's sad. And then again, that big confrontation at the end was completely left out where she is yelling at her dad in front of Daniel, and it was like a big moment, and whatever. Okay. So one thing that I loved about this book, seriously, I read this book, I'm like, it was so good. And one of the reasons I love this book so much were the chapters that were about the people other than Natasha and Daniel. So there's one chapter about Irene, who I don't think she was even in the movie, and attorney Jeremy Fitzgerald. And although they were not like integral to the whole storytelling per se, and how it played out, I can see why they got cut from the movie, but they really helped set the scene on how interconnected everyone is and how one small decision someone makes can affect someone else greatly. And it shows the framework of chance about Daniel and Natasha and what was not so chance. And I just really liked how it pieced everything together, and how it showed like one thing Jeremy Fitzgerald did affected them so much. And I feel like it helped show the big picture of what the book was trying to say, more so than just a love story between two people. Because it's all chance and it's all based on whatever. So I'm so disappointed. And there's one chapter completely about like how Koreans own black hair care shops. And they did talk about that in the movie. I just wish some of those other characters were in there too, and like how they affected Natasha and Daniel, or how Natasha and Daniel affected them. The karaoke scene in the movie, it was beautiful. I liked seeing Natasha's like imagined future for them. It's like I loved it, and it was beautiful. I loved it. But in the book, he sang a different song. I forget what song, and like Natasha was not feeling it. But in the movie, she was like, I could see a future with him. It was so cute. And then in the book, she sang a song too, but not in the movie. In the movie, it was just him, and then they made out. I was like, yes. Okay, I honestly liked the movie ending better than the book. I know, right? That never happens. So in the movie, only 5 years had passed rather than 10. So spoilers, I know, I always have spoilers. And I just said the ending, so clearly this could be a spoiler. But the end of the movie, so of course she got deported. I told you spoilers, so your fault if you're still listening. So she got deported, blah, blah, blah. And then in the movie, 5 years later, they reconnected. In the book, it was a whole 10, which is crazy to me. I was like, they had to wait 10 years to get back together. I was so mad about that. 10 years is so long. So already I was won over. I was like, 5 years? Ooh, okay, that's nothing. And then in the movie, Natasha was intentionally seeking Daniel out. And it wasn't just up to chance or fate. Like, she went back to America, and she went to their coffee place that they went to, and she was looking for him, and she found him. The book had a hopeful ending, but I mean, it was just kind of chance that they got together, which again, like, that's what the book was about, so that makes sense. But I think it's so much more romantic for her to still be thinking about him and not just like I think one of them heard each other. Oh, Daniel heard Natasha's voice or something, went, Natasha? And like they met on a plane 10 years later. But I think it's so much more romantic that she was seeking him out years later. Like, can't beat it. So the book did have a hopeful ending. But it didn't really play into it. It just kind of suggested that they could get back together because they saw each other on a plane, and that was it. But the movie kind of showed that they kissed. They saw each other in that coffee shop, and they kissed right away. But then, eye roll, she was only in town for 1 day again. I was like, they just had to throw that in there. They just had to make it 1 day again. They're going to have 1 day every 5 years. That's going to be their whole relationship. I was so, like, you really had to do that? She's like, I have a flight that leaves tomorrow. Why are you even here making out with me then? Go play with my heart again. Anyway, so to wrap it up, the movie did a great job of setting the scene of romance with the dreamy shots of New York. There are just some things that you have to see, like the imagery of Daniel's first birthday. And that was something that wasn't even in the book, I don't think. But even if it was, no, it wasn't. But it was just such a great shot to show their culture and what they did for his first birthday. And, even if it was in the book, or if it was and I clearly don't remember, you can't portray that as well with the written word. It was just a nice little flashback showing that all his relatives were gathered around seeing if he'd pick doctor or this or that. And he picked doctor, and they were like, whoa, he's going to be a doctor at 1 year old. It was great. I love that scene. New York was beautiful. So those are things that were great about the movie. Overall, I don't know which one I like better. Oh, one thing I just remembered, I literally don't even have this typed. I think in the book, she was getting deported that night, but in the movie, she was getting deported the next day. So they had this little sleepover in the park that was not in the book. But it was pretty cute, I guess. Overall, I liked the book better. I'm not even going to lie. The movie was very good. I would recommend it. At times, I think it was a little bit boring. There were just sometimes, I don't know, there were kind of a lot of, shots of them just walking around, and I think, anyways, I'm not even going to talk about that. I liked the book a whole lot better. The movie was great. The movie was good. Not as good as the book. If this was a 10, the movie would be an 8. Still good. If you never read the book, go see the movie, especially now that I spoiled it all for you. If you have read the book, I'd still say go see the movie. And let me know if I missed anything, if you notice anything that's different that, I didn't, any changes between the book and the movie, or let me just know what your thoughts are, Did you like the movie better? What did you think of the ending? All right. Until next time. I don't know what I'm doing next time. Let me scroll through my notes. I think I'm going to do 5 Feet Apart next time. I know I already did it once, but my audio was all jacked up. So I'm going to try it one more time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.